Yeah.
When I look at my life right now and I ask myself, which political party has made my life worse? It's not the Republican Party. Locally speaking, the Democrats have complete control and they have nearly destroyed my family's livelihood. Okay, we are living in trash and squalor everywhere. And unless the Democratic Party actually acknowledge these issues and solve these issues, rather than stealing our taxpayer money and funneling it to their nonprofit friends, they keep doing this, they're going to keep losing. And I'm going to keep speaking out against them. I don't care how much they hate Trump. I don't care how naughty the Republicans are being. Right now, the people having a negative impact on my life is the Democratic Party, and they need to change their ways. When we say we want to change the status quo, it doesn't mean we want to live in anarchy. It doesn't mean that we want to have $24 billion of our taxpayer money in California stolen by these nonprofits. It means that we want working people to be rewarded for their hard work. We want affordable housing. We want better working conditions, higher wages, better health care. These are things that Democrats used to purport to want to do. They don't do any of it anymore. And so I'm done with them until they change their ways.
Yeah, I completely understand it.
Okay, so just to continue on this for a minute, because I just saw this really bad news for Democrats. 2030 reapportionment, there's a group called the American Redistricting Project, and in 5 years we will be redistricting. California is projected to lose 3 seats, New York 2, also going to lose a seat, Minnesota, Oregon, Rhode Island, Illinois, all blue states. Who's getting these? Texas, Florida, Idaho, and Utah.
And we know why that is. It's because people are moving from there.
Yeah.
I mean, this looks like game over, you know, and the reason why people are voting with their feet is a lot of what your book is about.
Yeah.
Taxes and regulation. I certainly have been screaming about it forever. I did 3 years with a sign here that said, how long is it going to take me to get my solar hooked up? 3 years. Talking about it on television. In this state, you couldn't do it. This state has almost 400,000 regulations. I just put in a new roof because the fire, I thought, oh, let's get a roof that's not going to burn up. 2 inspections. Why are you inspecting my roof? It's my fucking roof. If it falls on me, that's my problem. And we're taxed more than any other state. People are leaving these kind of states for places where they're not, they feel the heavy breath of government on them. It's not that hard for Democrats to understand this, but they seem to be incapable of doing anything about it.
It's because Democrats are worried about their pockets than helping the actual American people. California is obviously a prime example when they didn't have no water, but have all these nonprofit programs.
All these nonprofit programs that are like funneling the money. Like we saw them spend billions of dollars on homelessness, and homelessness increased.
There's poop on the ground.
There's a literal app where you can track shit on the ground in California.
No.
For real?
Yes, you didn't know that? I'm dead ass. There's an app.
To track shit.
Yes.
There's an app.
So it's a place to tell you where there's shit outside.
Watch, I'm about to Google it right now.
I think a huge problem is also they're allowed to steal. So if you have a business in California, how
Who
is
wants
that
to
gonna
open
prosper?
one? Why would you
Yeah.
open one there?
It's called
you know they get
Snap
taxed.
Crap. Developed to address human waste issues in San Francisco, allows users to report feces on sidewalks and streets by taking photos and sending them to the city's public works department using GPS to track the location.
And it's sad because technically, if we're just gonna be real, if there was no people in America, the most beautiful part of America would be California. They got mountains, they got oceans. When we were there, we were riding around, we were like, wow, this looks really nice. And then you see people, I've never seen anyone do crack until we went to LA.
Yeah.
And
We saw him smoke crack
We
in
were
broad
on
day.
Hollywood Boulevard, the most busy street where if somebody went with their family, they might be on that street, you know? And we were watching someone smoke crack on the street.
Actually,
Just smoke crack, don't you?
He was so close to us, like we could have reached out
And grabbed
touched
We
him.
could have
Like, he was
inhaled some
that
crack
close.
smoke.
It's just,
No,
he
we
came,
probably did.
He
No,
came
look,
from the
here's
subway and did it. That's making
Here's
funny.
another app, Poop Map. They got hella apps to track poop
crazy.
on the ground.
You know what?
They
I thought
gonna
that's
learn,
I
though.
thought that's
California is
public
shifting red a
indecency,
lot.
right? Ain't that's public indecency?
Damn, bro.
Don't that make you a
I don't
sex
know, man.
offender?
They wanted to defund the police, so it doesn't matter. I mean,
But don't that
they're
make
gonna
you a
get 'em.
sex offender if you get caught?
Probably.
If I pull my thing out and start peeing in front of a crowd full of people,
Bro.
you become a sex offender.
Yeah.
They don't. Yeah. How do you think they
So
treat
how that
sex
work
offenders
with-
in California though?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Guys.
Look at that.
I can't forget. Yeah.
Guys, if it wasn't for
Look at
LA,
that.
Yeah,
if it wasn't for LA,
San Francisco too, but yeah.
It's they say it's the coastal part of California, so
Yeah.
that whole ridge line.
Yeah. Because I have
That's where
actually
the rich
heard that
people
a lot
live.
of normal people are in California. If y'all in
Over
California, you normal, comment on this right now.
Over here, these were
Because remember, we were riding around on scooters and a lot of people were recognizing us. We seen it in the comments like, we see the Cartier family riding on scooters. We was like, hold on.
That was crazy.
There's some normal people out there in California who rock with the C fam.
Now we know why Gavin Newsom has been changing his tune.
Yeah.
And now we see why. He's realizing he's deeply unpopular,
But
and he wants to make a campaign.
Trump is for the rich.
Everything that Democrats do, I just look at them as really any politician, but specifically Democrats, just due to the fact that they're changing their tune. I just look at them as wolves in sheep's clothing. I don't trust it.
That's facts.
and it's a lot of rich people that live on the coast of California, so that's why it's super blue. But you know,
Republicans are the one that's fighting for the rich. You know.
yeah.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, if you a California and you a Republican, you strong.
Yeah, you're a
You
strong
strong,
soldier.
bruh.
You're a real soldier.
Yeah, you are. Because it's easy for us to do it down here in Texas, you know.
Well, this is the worst news that Democrats have actually received.
Maybe
though.
this is their plan. That's why they wanted so many illegals.
Like, yeah, that's the reason. Like, this is bad. Like, you guys are losing seats now, and we're getting them in Texas. We know Texas is gonna forever be red. That's bad for them.
Well, you know, you got Texas is kind of in the middle.
No, it is not.
I guarantee you,
They'll never, ever.
Austin, Houston
Brother,
was
it
blue.
don't
Just
matter.
the city, everywhere else.
Exactly.
Besides
Yeah.
the cities,
Okay,
every
okay,
other county.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay, I'm just saying, but you
It
know,
will never, ever, ever.
No, it will never be blue.
Look at this. We turning
California won't
we
even
turning
be-
probably more red.
Yeah.
yeah.
They turning more red.
Yeah.
So this is bad for Democrats. This is super bad.
I just be thinking about Austin, bro.
Nah,
just
bro,
like
we're not worried
No,
about
yeah.
Austin.
When I found out there's a higher percentage of Democrats or people who voted for Kamala in Austin than LA, I was shocked about that.
that is kind of
That's a very
concerning.
shocking stat.
I'm not gonna lie. I've been to Austin. It's not that shocking to me.
They got some crazy stuff going out there.
Like it's very
But
progressive.
I know, but just thinking to LA, like you think LA is woke capital.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true.
That's
That's
why-
true. That's
like,
true.
I do
That
see
makes
it
sense to
is
me.
progressive, but when you think woke, when you think LA.
Yeah, you
so
do
that's
think
why I was
LA.
just shocked about that.
Yeah, I agree.
Blue state dysphoria, soak the rich policies have incited a meltdown in Democrat-run areas. I believe you've got the number. So you tell us, how many people left Illinois, New York, and California in the last 10 years? I think you've got the absolute number, right? What is it?
Yeah, it's close to 5 million people. If you add New Jersey, which is the
5
fourth
million.
big blue state, it's about 5 million people. This is one of the biggest mass migrations in American history. You know, if you look at, for example, the states that gained the most
have spoken.
population over the last 10 years, you're talking about obviously Florida, Texas, South Carolina, North Carolina,
Tennessee.
Georgia. Those states, the Southeast now has a larger GDP, total combined economic output, than the Northeast. That's the first time that's ever happened in American history.
The South.
So what's happening is not just a migration of people to these low-tax states, but also a migration of business activity, capital investment. Look, the South is where it's at right now, and what is the response by the blue
SEC.
states? They keep raising their tax rates. California just adopted a new tax increase. Their top rate, you know what it is today, Stuart, in California?
Tell me.
14.4%. You can move to Florida and Texas and pay zero. This is a no-brainer.
But is it just taxes? Or is it people wanting to
No.
move to a good business climate, a climate of expansion?
No crime.
Yeah, good point, Stuart. So, yeah, it's the latter. It's not just taxes.
That's not
That was the wildest shit.
Yeah.
That was the wildest shit that came out your
Plenty
mouth.
of crime in the
Plenty of
South.
crime, but at least the people that do the crime, they get punishment for it.
Yeah. Well,
Well, not all the time, but at least in California, they steal your stuff. They can sit on the street with your shit.
In no cash. They got no cash bill.
Hey, bro, this your shit. I said it's your
I
shit.
think in the South, it's like it depends on where you live. Like if you are on the good side, it's really good. But if you are in the bad side,
It is bad.
yeah.
New York and LA had no cash bail, so you just getting out of jail without even paying no
See what they
bill.
were doing to illegal immigrants? They let up. Let's not forget the immigrant that set the lady on fire.
They let him out of jail.
I forgot about that. And I don't think they did.
They did let him out of jail.
No way they let him out.
They let
I don't know if they did.
the first time they let him out, he got let out the first time for assault,
Well, yeah,
and they
yeah,
did
yeah,
it again. I
Bro,
thought they let him out.
Bro, that lit the lady on fire?
No,
Yeah.
No, they had let him out
after that.
previously.
Yeah,
but
he
not
had-
after.
I think he got
was
let. I think he got let out again,
Nah,
bro.
bro. That would have been news.
No,
It's just not
we
safe,
wouldn't
man.
know.
New York, man, you gotta ride on
true.
subways. I mean, like being out there, doing like traveling a little bit, bro. going to LA and
was
New York.
cool.
I would never ever live in
not
those
living
states.
there,
Never.
I wouldn't
No,
live
it's-
in either
yes,
of those
it's
states
for-
personally.
Unless I can go to
Just
Malibu,
visit.
though. I can go to Malibu, I might go.
I like to I like to visit
Malibu's
them. They're
gone.
nice to visit.
Yeah, but if you can live out
It's
there,
definitely
you
very
gotta live
beautiful.
there. If you had an unlimited amount of money. But if you got, you know,
But if you're a regular human,
Texas.
probably not. Yeah,
I'd rather live in Florida.
of
Yeah,
course.
I forgot about that.
You get you a fat home in Texas or
If I want
Georgia.
to live on the beach, I'd go to Florida.
Yeah.
For example, these states that are growing rapidly are right-to-work states. They basically say, look, they have unions, but you have, as a worker, the opportunity to join the union or not join the union. You can't be forced to. They have lighter regulation, better policies across the board, a pro-business atmosphere. And the point of my article today is the blue states don't get it, Stuart. They keep raising their tax rates. My home state of Illinois. You look at what's happening in Maryland and a bunch of other blue states. They continue to kind of soak the rich, and all that does is lead more people to leave. They're taking their jobs with them. I wish these blue states would get their act together and stop avoiding reality, which is taxes do matter, and they matter a lot.
Yeah, you got that right. Steve Moore, great stuff. Thanks for joining us.
Was so heavily funded by the government, like they had to rely on it at this point. Like their states will not run.
Just bad policies.
Yeah,
bad from the top down.
Like in Chicago, Brandon Johnson told his people that voted him in, said, I will not raise property tax. You just sit there
Raised
and lie
it.
to them.
Yeah.
People are going to leave. People are tired of this crowd, man.
People have spoken many times. Trump won all the swing states. Everyone's leaving. We know what's going on.
And media's ratings are down.
Media
Joy
ratings on
Reid's
their channels are
fired.
down.
Don Lemon's fired.
I don't talk about them. They said
just
they
saying,
said
you know.
Canada.
The
could,
SEC runs football.
They said Canada could
And
beat
basketball right
and
now.
basketball and track, any really sport.
The people have spoken.
They have.
Let us know what y'all think in the comments, though, guys. Bill Burr definitely got a reality check right there.